Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back to my Let's Play of Ys Origin. We last left off running around Guilty Fire here, talking to some of our members, saving one of our comrades, and doing a little grinding. And we still need to do just a little bit more to get to the next level here, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so far, in the next room that I was in before should lead us to a boss. And this is one of those bosses where you don't have to win, but you can if you can play it well enough. And that's what I'll try to do. I've done one or two attempts that haven't really worked out. And the issue being that if you die, then that's kind of it. You can't do a retry because it's not like paramount to the story that you win. But I still would like to. And I'm curious to maybe see about trying to get one more level here. And see how much that would help, because it looks like fighting most of these enemies, you can get a decent amount of XP. And I've actually gotten close to beating him twice so far, but that sadly still wasn't enough. Okay, let's just go over here. And for the most part, I think this room is probably the best one to fight in for XP and all that. Come on, keep spawning new little babies. I'll be ready to take care of them. I'm trying to think now. Like, when it comes to most games, dealing with waves of enemies can be pretty frustrating sometimes, just because they just keep showing up, even though you kind of feel like, hey, why do these guys keep showing up? Should there be like a limit to how many there can be? At least for these demons, it kind of makes sense, that they because they kind of are made out of the earth, of magic and all that. They actually spawn that way. It does take, it does make sense that they can kind of show up, or keep showing up. It sort of feels like, though, in RPGs, or at least MMOs, like it'd be cool if after you fought a certain number, that was kind of it. They didn't respawn again. So it doesn't feel like you're fighting a losing battle. And one of the few games to actually ever do something like that was Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns. That was kind of surprising to me, in that you could actually fight enough of those enemies that there won't be any more at all. And I thought that was pretty cool. It made the world feel more real, I guess. Oh, great! I have to. It's always kind of annoying when I lose my build up of my XP boost here. It really does help to have that maxed out. But yeah, and actually there is one other game that does that too, and that was Undertale. Undertale also did that as well. Of course, it kind of did it as a, what a horrible thing to do to all the denizens of the monster area. But it only kind of worked a little bit in the beginning. Once you got far enough, they all kind of just disappeared on their own. you know, they kind of ran away. And it's more or less only if you really want to do that genocide run anyway. Which, you know, to get the full experience for Undertale, I would think or try it out, see if you can do it or not. Otherwise, just move on and do a pacifist run. But yeah, so I would be curious if any games could actually try to have that as more of a thing in their games. You know, that there's only so many of a certain monster you can fight before they run out. And like, it makes sense to keep or to let them respawn. So if you have to collect a certain number of something, or you have to get a certain item, or you want to keep grinding for XP, that they keep showing up, and all that. And it's also, I believe, more work to try and set something like that up. So, it's definitely something I could see why most developers don't do, but when they intentionally do it, I think it can be pretty cool, and it'd be nice to see that something like that more often in games. God darn it. Need to keep making sure I actually stay up here. God darn it. Yeah, oh well. Lost my buff again. But yeah, so I think that is a mechanic that hasn't been fully explored, you know, and is underutilized. Like, think of how that would be for like some of the Zelda games, if that's kind of how things go. But for Zelda, I guess it wouldn't really make much sense. I'm trying to think what games it would. Well, I guess, and well, there are some games that do save it. Save the information that, yeah, you killed all these enemies and they won't respawn. I'm trying to remember which ones though. There we go. Sadly I have to rebuild it again. I am pretty close to leveling now, like I wanted to. Oh, and there's actually an item I forgot to use, didn't I? There we go. Of course, grinding in this game isn't too bad, especially with the awesome music you can keep listening to. I'm not quite sure what I need to do to make the slimes reproduce more. I know the mother sort of just kind of does it, but for the firebirds, oh, darn it, I missed my chance. But yeah, so I guess question of the day for anyone who wants to answer, what game do you recall where you know, the monsters pretty much were done and then that was it? I guess technically, like most platformer stages kind of do that when you think about it. You know, they don't have respawning enemies all the time. So I guess there are those. So you can just tell me which game have you loved that has a mechanic like that you thought it was really neat to have, and not just kind of boring. Because I guess that's kind of the thing in most RPGs, is that they always have enemies that respawn or that they're just kind of endlessly there. But we almost have our grinded level. Oh, there we go. So I think I should be much better off now in trying to take on this boss here. So yeah, I'm pretty much done grinding here, so let's go ahead and get to the save point here. I want to make sure we save, and then we can go ahead and, you know, move on to this boss and see if we can beat him now or not. And then of course we get our story segment here, which, depending on if you want to keep redoing this, you'll get to see all over and over again. But since it's the first time for most of you, it's Lady Fina. We finally found her. Again, as Hugo this time. I don't think I noticed this before, but a lot of the ornamentation, I think, is really good on her, on the character here, Fina. Like, I do think when it comes to the clothing, like, there are some clothing designs that look really nice and kind of fit, and then others that either don't have the right detail or are maybe overdoing it in some aspects. I do think, like Kingdom Hearts, you know, the characters in that, like, I do think they maybe overdo it with the zippers and belts sometimes, but everyone has their own designs, right? Yeah, if you didn't want to involve anyone, then you probably should have left a message saying you didn't want anyone involved. Going without any word at all just makes people more concerned than if you had left a note. Yeah, that's always a good question too, is like, we're searching for 2 of these people, right? Well, you would hope so with all the demons we've been fighting. Well, that's good. That apparently, because they're goddesses, they have a bond that they'll know if the other's in danger or not. I guess I'd be curious, like, if they're goddesses, then, you know, I would think they would be fairly powerful that no one could really fight them, but supposedly they're not as powerful, or at least if they need safety, then something can kind of combat them, or be able to take them out or something. At least that's the assumption you make when you deal with gods and goddesses. If you had everything under control, then we probably wouldn't be dealing with as many demons as we found, or the Darklings here when we arrived. Yeah, we definitely wouldn't want to leave without him. And that's always a good question too, but we did find out about this from Unica Tova's, from playing through her route. Apparently Epona has been trying to find them, huh? I guess that's always the problem. We don't really know who it is until they show up, so... But they make sure to try and avoid spoilers until they actually show up on screen. Hey, look, it's Man with Claws. Yeah, she is. And apparently they are. Yep, we finally learned that the Man with Claws is his Hugo Fact's brother, the disinherited son of House Fact and former captain of the Holy Knights. And supposedly the so-called hero who was to have knowingly given his life on the surface while Solomon's shrine was being raised. Toal Fact. Yeah, it's a fairly comprehensive introduction, isn't it? And he's got some good detail on his clothing too, like the belts and the skull in the middle there. Or it almost looks like his claws, funny enough. Of course, who knows why his demons are the family now. They don't really seem that friendly. Okay, apparently he accepted a demonic element within him, which is what supposedly gives him more power. Sorry, Epona, but you won't be settling any scores. Yeah, Hugo's pretty angry right now. Oh, there you go. That's apparently Hugo's real mission, was to find the traitor and kill him. Which happens to be Toal here, for some reason. But of course, there will be more to find out about Toal's story when we play through his campaign. I wouldn't call that a cackle, though. Yeah, that dash is pretty cool, just being able to, you know, blink like that. But yeah, we get to fight Toal here. And that's kind of why getting the extra level as well as the, and then of course using your shield would be the most, best thing to do here. Well, we'll see about that. So in this one, it's best to try and run most of the time and attack when you have an opening. And to do your best to try and hit him when you get the chance. And our shield does do a little bit of damage, but for the most part, you should just rely on it helping you avoid getting hit. Because as you can see, he can move around fairly quickly. That's always the problem with fighting a ranged hero, is making sure you get the right direction to hit your enemies in. I'm still kind of finding it annoying when it actually hits me. Even though I feel like I should have been able to avoid it. So yeah, pretty much whenever he does a big attack, you can kind of try and use your shield, or you know, find your chance to attack. And to make sure to use your EX as often as possible since it helps give you that extra defense as well as more attack dwarfs here to help hit your enemies. But if you can keep up this kind of combo going, then you should be able to defeat him without too much trouble. The bigger problem is if your magic runs out before you can use it, or your shield kind of disappears like that. But just remember, running and jumping will always save you in this case. But he is going to be one of the harder enemies to fight, but you can always just grind up a level or two. I find this extra level is definitely helping with my defense, since I think before he was doing about 14 to 15 damage a hit, and as you can see, he can hit you quite a few times. But of course it's up to you kind of how much you want to prepare. If you don't care about winning against him, then you can kind of just let lose and be done with it. And at first I thought I only needed to take him down to half health here, but apparently not. Pretty much when he does that move that tries to, draw you in, that's probably the best time to attack him. But you don't have that much time to attack, of course. There we go, finally. Definitely a very hard one to fight. So, still think I can't kill you? Guess the least I can do is finish you off quickly. Unlike you, I don't delight in watching others suffer. I don't think that's really I don't think I have the right voice for Hugo. I don't think that was the right one, at least. You're not half bad. But you're still far too inexperienced to succeed our family name. What? There we go. There's his demon form. So yeah, even if you defeat him in there, he kind of apparently does this, but I think, well, this is the first time I'm seeing it, I think. It is kind of cool. Serves me right. Well, yeah, he's been an arrogant, little bee, but yeah, shouldn't underestimate. And here's the sultry voice, as we recall her as Zava. Still kind of a weird name. It's like lava, but with a Z. And she's got a lot of accessories on her as well. They always do fairly good work with the art, I feel, in Ys games. I do kind of like Epona though, you know, even if she is, you know, like she's pretty much like a tomboy-like female character. Yeah, I don't think she'll tell you. So he's just called Claw, apparently, to them. Yes, can you kill your brother? That's kind of interesting that Epona doesn't want that to happen. Oh good, everyone else is here now too. So Fina can not go quietly, right? She can actually fight back or something? Oh, of course Galleon knows who that is. And those guys should probably know too. Wait, but she doesn't have to come along. She can easily try to get away, right? Especially with all of them here. Of course not. Why wouldn't you come along, Epona? Did you want to stay and try and join them or fight them all? I still don't think Fina should have gone, you know, should have fought back a little at least. After we fought so hard to fight Toal and all, even if we did lost. Yeah, you got your butt beat. Well, now we're back at the base. But yeah, so if you did lose, I think, you know, it'd pretty much end the same way, but it might be a little bit different. I forget. But that's just, this is, you know, we get the achievement and we, you know, get the reward of, you know, beating a hard enemy. Oh hey, and Unica's here now, in the back there. Yep, that's what you'll just have to do for now about Toal. Yep, now we've met with her. Girl with Braids, or Unica Tova, the first person we played as. course, that wasn't. Apparently, we didn't really see toal much in Unica's playthrough or anything like that. So this wasn't. You know, we didn't get to talk about that apparently. Oh yeah, the Black Pearl vanished along with him. That was kind of the big revelation we heard about in the last one, too. Yeah, so this is very much kind of a rehash of what we learned before. If you followed my playthrough through Unica's stuff, there isn't that much different. So this is one of those scenes that's kind of just very much the same. And now he at least has something to say about it. Well, a traitor's a traitor, but, you know, for someone's reasons for turning traitor, those can get complicated sometimes. But then apparently Hugo is not that fond of his brother anyway, so this is him being far more critical than maybe the situation calls for. And Hugo's definitely taking things more lightly than, because we know why they brought it here, at least part of it, and that they're not idiots as far as we can tell. Well, at least this part's new, though. But that's the main reason, is just to make sure Hugo still gets to play lone wolf here. And that's pretty much all the time we have for today for this episode. Join us next time as we continue our trek through the tower and see what else awaits us. for Hugo at least. So until next time, have fun gaming.